Welcome back, guys. Today's gonna be a different type of video as we're doing a forecast video for tomorrow, March 16th, Thursday, March 16th, and it's looking like it could be a pretty big tornado outbreak as of right now, a couple hours before the day one outlook comes out. There's a enhanced risk over in northeast Texas for, I believe it's 30% chance of winds over 60 mph and 30% chance of significant hail, so hail over 2 inches in diameter. So we're going to be breaking it down on what else I could see being changed in the day one outlook. Alright, so first thing first, moisture is pretty important. It's looking like there's going to be plentiful over northeast Texas and southeast Oklahoma, dew points in the mid-60s at around 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time tomorrow. And there was a little bit of a dry line setting up along north-south line, what looks to be about 50 to 100 miles west of Dallas, Fort Worth, I believe. And at 4 o'clock, the latest Hurricanes 0Z Hur already has supercells firing along the river in Oklahoma. And when we take a look at the sounding from just off there, it's pretty bad looking. There's quite a bit of curvature in the photograph. What looks like 40 knots of lower level jet, which is quite high. There we go. Okay. Yeah, still about 30-40 knots of lower level jet, which is the 1 kilometer winds. Pretty big looping photograph and very linear photograph, so that might lead to development of more of a windstorm, which is why there's a 30% chance for winds over 60 mph. When we take a look at the Cape, there's about 2,400 surface-based Cape and about 1,700 mixed layer Cape, with pretty little 0 to 3 Cape, which is part of why the tornado risk is fairly low. When we take a look at the 0 to 3 kilometer Cape, you can tell it's a little bit higher off to the near the Oklahoma City metro area, and also down along the dry line in east central Texas. And when we take a look at the storm relative helicity, 0 to 1 kilometer, there's not, the farther north you go, north and east you go, the more there is, but down by Austin, there's barely any, which is part of why there's not that big of a threat down there. It's mainly I-35 east and north of Dallas-Fort Worth. Space Cape, there's quite a widespread amount of over 2,000, some areas getting close to 3,000 joules per kilogram. And we also do not expect much of a cap to be in place by 4 p.m., which should help for rapid development of storms. And according to the HER, let's see here, it has storms forming. So it has storms forming in southern Oklahoma along the dry line by about 3-4 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Sorry, Central Daylight Time, not CST.
On your HRR model right there, it might be showing a few discrete supercells popping up around the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, which yes. I have just checked. There is no capping inversion over DFW at all tomorrow. So yeah. that'll like you said, that'll lead to a quicker storm development.
Yeah, there's also some pretty steep lapse rates, which is part of the reason for the high hail threat. As we take it back to around 2 p.m. CST, there's not right around Dallas-Fort Worth Metro, there's no capping inversion at all, so high chance for storms to just form anytime between 3 and 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time near Dallas. Alright, now let's go ahead and take a look at the NAM 3 kilometer if it's out far enough, which, okay, gets out to 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time, which is showing a completely different version of what's going on. That's interesting. Alright, so still has a widespread area of 2,000 surface-based K. However, it's some areas it's not getting up towards like 29 or 3,000 like it was showing on the Hurry, which is interesting that a day out there's some decent discrepancy. However, on the NAM, it's showing a lot higher storm relative helicity off to the east, as in northeast Texas is about 300 meters squared per second squared of 0 to 1 kilometer storm relative helicity, and the HER is only showing about 100 to 200. Now let's go take a sounding out near Dallas Fort Worth. It also shows a surface low forming here in south central Oklahoma, which not quite so sure about that, but and that would be why there's no storms popping up on the NAM 3 kilometer. There was a pretty stout capping inversion right here. Oh, but there we go. Right about here, there's a little bit of a capping inversion that is keeping things capped, which is one. How to tell those capping inversions when the red line or the temperature line has a quick like cut off to the right like that and then goes back up. That shows that there is a warm air aloft that is keeping storms from forming.
And what you're saying about that cabin inversion there, on GFS, aside from HWI, um it's showing that that there is at later a little bit later in the day there is a cabin inversion over Dallas Fort Worth, but it could definitely that can definitely change and everything like that.
Okay. Alright. I also forgot to mention in the intro that Happy or StayHappy or however you want to call him is also helping me out with this forecasting. So that's who you're hearing in the background. So at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, there's still no storms forming in Texas. However, there looks to be a band of storms forming right off of the surface low in south central Oklahoma.
Looks to me like it could have. Sorry about that. I don't know if you could hear that or whatever, but it sounds like it could be QLCS. We could have a few just my goodness. Sorry. We could have a few spin ups if this does turn into a line like the models are showing.
Yes. So also keep in mind this is the NAM 3 kilometer, also known as like the linear model, because it like always shows like windstorms over like isolated supercells. So you have to make sure that you don't get too carried away thinking with the NAM 3 kilometer saying it's just going to be a windstorm, because it won't always just be a windstorm. So here at about 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time, storms are still having a rough time firing in Texas. So let's see here. Yeah, there's still a little bit of a capping inversion overhead in Dallas Fort Worth, which is not helping things. Which I would really think that would have eroded by 6 p.m., but I don't know. I have to wait and see. Alright, so that's all I have for the south central area, and then so from what
I
I've
want to
seen
say
from the most recent her run is that I wouldn't be too surprised if the uh, storm predictions are here in a couple of hours when they issue the day one outlook. I won't be too surprised if they uh, expand the marginal risk here and up into what West Central Missouri. Because when you take a look at this, uh, some of these photographs they're pretty decent. With that was a bad one though. Actually, no, that's not. There's quite a lot of curvature in the photograph, and there is no surface-based cape. Does show to be a little bit elevated, but there is still quite a bit of and mixed layer cape and forecast cape, which and there's also plenty of storm melt to Felicity, which is why I think there might be an isolated chance for possibly like an elevated hail alert or windstorm in central Missouri.
Alrighty, I think that's gonna be all for today. I just wanted to pop in real quick before we end here. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. We've reached 1.5 thousand views and 38.5 watch hours. And 36 subscribers. Sorry for a little bit of a decline in posting there. We're working on it. We're just trying to develop a better team here
Yeah.
within the staff team. We're trying to get more weather analysts that can film in their free time and upload it to the channel. So it's not only me and Kat that are trying to upload while we're busy with other things. So
Okay, on a quick note, something I just want to go over is that there is also a chance for a little bit of snowfall on the backside of the system. However, I'm not expecting it to be too big. Like up in northwest Iowa, southeast South Dakota, central Minnesota, and most of Nebraska might get anywhere from like 2 to 5 inches of snow. Um, and another thing is, so I am part of the Twister Hunters, which is what Happy was just going over. So, and be I'm happy to be part of them and hope to continue help them grow. I think that's going to be it for today. So see you guys later.